Hi everyone, today I'm going to be changing the front pads on this customer's Jeep Patriot. So first I'm going to do my safety checks. I'm checking the brake hose here, and then I'm going to check the shock for any leaks or snap springs, and I'm going to check all the bushes and the boots and the track rod ends and things. Then I'm going to move on to, and what I'm going to do first on this one, because they're quite poor, I'm going to spray it down with some brake clean just to get all the brake dust off of it. Clean everything off so I'm not breathing that in now when I disturb it. It's not something that I always do, but you should do it really just because it's nasty stuff. With that cleaned off, now what I'm going to do is get a pry bar and see the inspection hole. I'm going to put a pry bar in there and just lever off the old pad just to move the caliper over slightly so the pads don't catch on the disc now when I lift the caliper up. With that dust cleaned off, I'm going to get this 14mm ratchet spanner and loosen the lower pin and take that right out. Now with that out, we can put that to one side and flip the caliper all the way up, exposing the pads. As you can see here, these are very low. There's virtually no friction material left on them whatsoever. Just use the pry bar there just to tap them out. And give it a tap with your hand just to get a bit more force on the back of it. There you go, I've knocked them free now. Look, you can see how worn they are, you can see the rivets through it. As you can see, they were quite stuck in there now, so you have to make sure that you clean these out thoroughly. So spray it with some brake clean and then rough it up with a wire brush. Now with them cleaned up, it's time to push the piston back in. So I like to set an old pad over the front of the piston and then just wind it back with a G-clamp. Obviously you want to open up the master cylinder cap to relieve pressure in there, and just be gentle on this because you don't want to damage the piston either. You can't see it here, but I'm just twisting the handle and it's pushing it all the way back in. Once it's flush, then you need to stop. There you are, see it's flush with the caliper. With the carrier clean and the piston back in place, it's time to fit the pads. So we've got the mechanical wear indicator that we're going to clip onto the pad so it sits on the leading edge of the disc. So just clip it on like so. And what we're going to do is we're going to face it onto the pad, onto the disc, sorry, so that when it wears, it catches onto that metal lip and makes a screeching noise to let you know that you need to change your pads. Now that that's set up in the right place, it's time just to apply some grease to the contact points of the pad. As I said in my other videos, most new pads now come with an anti-rattle shim on the back, so you don't need to put any on the back. The pads are designed to take care of it itself. So it's just on the contact points. Automatically greased. Slide them into place. See none on the back. So I'm going to put this pad back into place here, and then I'm going to drop the caliper back down on top of it. So I clip it in gently, put the caliper back into place, and then line up the rubber on the bottom properly. Now let's re-grease the pin. So first clean it off. Clean off all the old grease. Wipe it off. I'm going to use a special rubber grease on this now. You can use a silicone based grease, but don't use a petroleum based grease because it will cause the rubber boot to swell and uneven wear on your brake pads. So this is a special red rubber grease is called. Just put liberally all over it and slide it back into place. Do it up nice and tight. A little bit of grease on the caliper there, just spray it off with the brake clean. As you can see that the pads aren't sat properly on there, so you need to pump the pedal first so they sit them properly, or else when you do try to brake, when you first get in the car, you won't have any brake there at all. So pump them, get them seated properly, then pack up your tools and get out of the rain. Thank you so much for watching. That's all done now. If you need any more how-to videos, check out Els Auto Care on YouTube, or if you're local to Bridgend, check out my Facebook channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Feel free to share my videos and subscribe to my channel. Bye.